friends, I'm Akash, and a hearty welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about the history of one of the most important American military vehicles of all time, the Humvee. Now, chances are you probably know the Humvee from one of two places. One, the American military vehicle, the high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicle. Or you may have known it, and you probably do know it, from the civilian brand, the Hummer, and the Hummer H1, H2, or H3. Some of you watching this may even already have a Hummer, and if you do, then make sure to comment down below. Now, with this Hummer and with the Humvee, I'm going to talk about the history of where the Humvee came from and how it came to be used as the general name for the Hummer civilian brand car. Now, let's take a look at the history of this, and this goes all the way back to World War II. Now, you may know that during this time, America was using the wildly popular Jeep American military car. Now, at that time, it was being produced by two companies, a now relatively forgotten and unknown Willis Motor Company, and also the wildly popular still Ford Motor Company. Now, Willis and Ford produced the Jeep for about 4 or 5 years, but it was used countless numbers of times. And since then, Jeep has become a civilian brand, which is currently run by the Stellantis company. And it is one of the most popular civilian car brands of all time. Now, with this here, the Jeep, having been very wildly successful, continued its day and age throughout the 1950s. As the Cold War came into shape, it was used in multiple different events. You know, Jeep was used, and so was it used in the Vietnam War as well. But around the 1960s, the United States Army thought it better to start taking a look and reevaluating its now aging fleet of land vehicles. Of course, this did include the Jeep. And, well, the Jeep was by that time long gone, or rather, long gone produced. I mean, it was still mass well known, and it was always used in a lot of land operations, but for the most part, really, it wasn't being made for the military. The civilian version was still going on, of course, but military, out. So this means that the military of the United States had to create a new one, a new vehicle that can serve all the purposes of the Jeep and so much more. And so over time, or 10, 20 more years of preparation and studying to the original Jeep and what changes you can make to it to see how it can be better, the United States Army created a brand new prototype of their own. This was the High Mobility Multi-Purpose Wheeled Vehicle, HMMWV. Well, to be honest, most people, well, especially American soldiers, just shorten this HMMWV to just the Humvee. So this was the name of the brand new vehicle, the HMMWV, or Humvee for short. Now, this Humvee eventually went into the same style that the Jeep had gone into years and years prior. A contract bidding system was created, so any car company could theoretically just start up and begin working on the brand new vehicle. And eventually, some companies came up. I mean, by some, I mean literally hundreds. And even though this many car companies came along with it, literally only 3 companies were able to push it that far to create working prototypes. One of these companies was called AM General. Now, to be honest, most people don't know about AM General, as like it's mostly a military thing, AM General was created by the American Motors Corporation of the 60s and 70s and 80s. And it was built as a way for American Motors to delve into the contracting business, where the militaries of countries would, contact these companies on different ideas. So sort of the private contracting idea here comes into play with American Motors. And they decided to create this AM General section of their company to deal with this form of contracting. So this heavy truck utility company went along with it. And so as AM, at the time, American Motors, did own the Jeep civilian brand, they were more than happy to start working on a new military vehicle. So AM General began working on their prototype around 1979, and eventually they introduced this. The HMMWV, the Humvee specifications given out by the United States Army, were successfully carried out by this company. AM General had done it, and they were one of only 3 companies to actually do it. Sure enough, when the United States military made it time to decide who's going to get the contracting bid, they went for none other than, you guessed it, it's AM General. So AM General now got the contract to create the Humvees for the US military. So Humvees began entering into production starting from 1983. They began going through the whole thing with the US military, making all sorts of modifications to make it work, and eventually it began. Soon enough, it had gone straight down into the production and became another mass-produced military vehicle. And the first point it was used in was in 1989. Now, in 1989, the United States was busy trying to invade Panama. During this operation, which was marketed as part of the war on drugs, the US military decided to get in the hand of the Humvee, and so the Humvee massively helped the Operation Just Cause, US's invasion of Panama in the 1980s. And so after 1989, of course, the Humvee was used in multiple other wars, but its biggest breakthrough came in 1991 when the Gulf War took place. The Gulf War. And so the Humvee came full circle right there, right then. The Humvee became one of the most popular American military vehicles during this time. The Humvee came right in. So the Humvee helped dramatically during the Gulf War. And so eventually, as America and team officially won the Gulf War, and so thereby restored the state of Kuwait, things began working normally, and now the Humvee became a massive popularity success. And so over time, the Humvee became one of the most important American military vehicles in the history of the US Army. And this is the history of the American military vehicle, the Humvee. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.